Can we be as good as the AAP government in Delhi?
I hope you end up fighting an election as I am doing today.
The water is a basic necessity for everyone. This is not a Karnataka, Tamil Nadu or any other places.
That if you give the right incentives to a people, they will do the right things.
We are here in one of the central localities of Bengaluru near the hockey stadium Venkatraman Associates, and we have a bunch of students from Christ College as well as St. Joseph's College, all of them having burning questions in their minds with regards to politics. Are they really interested in politics? Do they really watch the news on a daily basis or not? Some of them have voters ID, some of them do not have voters ID, but they still want to vote. This is Yuva versus Neta that you're watching as part of Election-O-Meter presented to you by Asianet Newsable as well as Dialogue India. Talking of Dialogue India, it is a student-run organization, and we have with us the Neta of the day, Miss Renuka Vishwanathan from the Aam Aadmi Party. And where is she going to contest? Shanthinagar constituency of Bengaluru, which made news just recently with respect to the Nalapad case. And she will be contesting against the person, the tycoon in politics, N.A. Harris of the Congress. We are here to address this particular aspect. Students are here, but do they really have any kind of questions? Do they really want to access these politicians? And when the politician here is accessible, do they really want to make a change, question them with regards to the system? Many of them really talk about corruption, talk about, how the country has gone to dogs. Some of the statements are common phrases. But do they really want to take a step towards it? There is a political science student who thankfully has a question today.
Hi, I've been studying politics only because of the the dynamics of it. And today when I have a AAP party member in front of me, the one question is, can we be as good as the AAP government in Delhi? That's my question. Is that the change that the AAP Karnataka is promising? That is, what is your election mandate? What is your ideas? That's what I want to know.
Ma'am, would you like to take that?
Yes, I would certainly would. As one political science student to another, because I was fascinated by the subject myself. I loved it. And I got into the bureaucracy, but I think I am in politics today because politics always fascinated me. And what I'm enjoying today is, as a political science student, I hope you end up fighting an election as I am doing today. Two things I'm enjoying thoroughly as part of this political science student business. First is exactly how democracy functions, and it's fascinating to know to what extent all the theories of democracy work in practice, and they do. The most amazing part about what I am experiencing today is that every voter, and I mean that every voter, a voter in a slum and a voter in the richest possible apartment you can think of, every voter has something to teach me. And I'm enjoying learning from every one of them because they ask me the most amazing questions and they make the most amazing points. This is something which you can never get from any other experience. And the second part, which I think is very important for me, is actually being in the midst of this, the rough and tumble of politics, and seeing how the party like the Aam Aadmi Party is actually fighting the whole election purely with white money. I never thought it was possible because I was in bureaucracy and I never seen any election being fought without black money. But right here, I'm fighting it myself. I know every penny that they get as donation is accounted for by check. Every penny that I spend every day is tax paid white money. So actually it works. It really, it works. So when I see it from inside, it's different from reading about it. So I find politics absolutely stunning, and I thoroughly enjoy being here as part of the Aam Aadmi Party. We are looking for alternative politics. I hope we can bring it.
Well, while many of them did not really have a question when we started the show with, how many of you really know about the Nalapad incident? Okay, so many hands. At least they are aware of the incidents that are actually plaguing the state. Talking about crime, the Nalapad issue, what was your take on it when you read about it?
It was a bit shocking, but it is something very personal to Congress people, and it was something very different. They took a political view on it.
Politics, unnecessary politics over a particular incident. Is that what the city is really about or the state is about?
No, not really. It's not worth taking out politics for all those things. But if such thing has happened, then maybe it should be personal.
Have you ever really wondered whether N.A. Harris must get a ticket or not? How many of you here have wondered that? Okay.
See, I think the issue with politics as such is everyone loves power. And the Congress party, I think this is their first 5 years which they have held on continuously. And they're the strongest party in Karnataka. So, you know, the power dynamics came into picture and therefore, yeah, the party ticket must be given to him as the ideology. I do not personally believe anyone making crimes of any kind, be it a small crime or a huge crime, they shouldn't be getting a party. But then, they shouldn't be getting a party ticket. But then, that is the politics of today.
The politics of today, ma'am, where a person gets a ticket irrespective of an incident that has marred his reputation. How do you plan to really contest against this kind of a politician here?
We are already on the ground. For the last 4 months, I have been campaigning. I have been actually going door to door because my party picked me well in advance. And till 16th, I didn't even know who any opponent was. The first one I heard about was about a few hours before the nominations opened, and then the BJP candidate, I met him at a meeting in the office of the returning officer, and he told me, I've just been confirmed that I am the candidate for the BJP. If you are actually moving among the people and if you're going to ask for their votes, why are you not even declaring who the candidate is till the last 3 weeks of the election? Do they think they are so strong, so powerful, so popular with the masses that just the name of the party will bring them the votes? It seems to me that that may be the idea. But since you were talking about the behavior of a particular MLA, I can say one thing clearly, that if a person had behaved in that fashion, our party would never have given him the ticket. It's not for me to tell the Congress what they should do or they shouldn't do. Sure, they will think about the principles that govern their party, the ideas that govern the way in which they select candidates, and they will pick their candidates accordingly. But definitely our party would never have given the ticket to a person like Mr. N.A. Harris.
This particular show concentrates on 3 different aspects of the election. 1, rivers, 2, religion, and 3, revolution. I go to the first one, rivers. The Kaveri and the Mahadai. How many of you have really wondered about the entire Kaveri issue? Does it really matter that, you know, your friend is a Kannadiga or a Tamilian? Does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter.
Right. Does it matter who gets the water? Is it Karnataka, Tamil Nadu?
It's fine if they get water. Even they have rights to get water. Na?
Yeah, even they have the right to get water. Ma'am, my question to you is, how do you really have an agenda with respect to the Kaveri issue, Mahadai issue, decade-old issue? Time and again people talk about it, but is there going to be a concrete solution that Aam Aadmi Party is going to have?
There are solutions which have already been proposed and which have been around for quite some time. In fact, I remember here my a colleague in the IAS from the Tamil Nadu cadre called S. Guhan. It's a very fantastic person. He was probably one of the very few officers who resigned when the emergency was declared because he thought that that was undemocratic. He has come out, in those days, he brought out a perfectly worked out solution to the Kaveri problem. A solution which was built on cooperation between the states which share the waters, which includes also Kerala, by the way, because Kaveri has some connection with Kerala too. Now, what he said was, unfortunately for all of us, we do not have enough water in the river to satisfy the requirements of all the states who are depending on the Kaveri. And therefore, the best way to handle this is, 1, augment the water that we have by various measures which you can do in the basin of the Kaveri. You know, all the planting and the conservation measures which will actually increase the flow into the river, which will protect the water in the river. That was the first solution. The second solution was basically use the water also in a very careful manner. If there are 10 houses depending on a tap, there's no way we can manage it unless we all learn to work cooperatively, which means that nobody could actually take up a crop which uses a very great deal of water. And that's happened. If you want sugarcane, then you know how much water you need for sugarcane. If you want paddy, then you know how much water you need for paddy. Those are crops which take up a lot of water. But even then, the water that we use should not be used in a wasteful fashion. What are the priorities? Those have to be determined. So this kind of a really working cooperative arrangement we have to put in place if we have to manage the requirements of any river. And I think for Karnataka this is going to be critical, because we are in the heart of the plateau of India, and there are rivers which are all around us, waters which we have to share with all our neighbors. And unless we start talking with those neighbors, there's no way we can come to a solution.
How many of you really get water on an everyday basis in your homes? Okay, so most of them seem to be the privileged lot. Or, you know, is there a specific time when you do not get water?
We get the water on all the areas in Bangalore. As I know, the Kaveri water we get only on the alternate days of the week. Like not every day or every 24 hours.
Were there times when you were frustrated that, you know, people indulge in politics over water?
The people, they are playing very badly on the water. The water is a basic necessity for everyone. This is not a Karnataka, Tamil Nadu or any other places. We have to give water to everybody. We have to share it. They are neighbors to us. We need to share them. But unfortunately, the politicians are playing badly on this issue. But we have to give preference to our state also first. We have to see how much water we needed for our city or our current state. Then we have to take a call on that one also.
Most often we blame the politicians, but are we to be blamed too? How many of you are really indulged in conserving water? Do you have the tap running while you're brushing your teeth? How many of you do that? Okay. And at other times, I mean, you only use the shower and not the bucket of water while having a bath, right? So this kind of an issue when you have to tackle, you young man, if you can tell me that, you know, while you do not really understand the importance of water or wastage of water, how do you expect politicians to deal with it?
Actually, like, water is like many of like
Take
what?
it for granted.
Yeah, many of the take it. When we have, we use it a lot. When we don't have, we get frustrated. Why you don't have? Like he told, when it's alternate days. When we have, we use a lot. When we don't have, we obviously get frustrated.
So, ma'am, it's not just about the politicians, but even citizens to be blamed. How do you plan to raise this awareness among them?
Oh, I can give you the example of what the Aam Aadmi Party did in Delhi, and this is an amazing example. This was one of the reasons why I joined the party. If you remember, the first thing that Kejriwal had said when he was campaigning was that I will give 20,000 litres of water free per month to every household as soon as I become Chief Minister. And I remember all the TV programs, Digvijay Singh laughing, I mean, Sheila Dikshit having a fantastic laugh. How can he do it? Delhi is poor. And I know, because I have sat in Delhi doing plan discussions with the Delhi government. For 6 years, I did it at different levels of my career. And every time they would come and tell us that we have no water, we have this problem, that problem, we have to bring it all the way from Himachal, there's a dam being built, etc. We have to get it from Haryana. All these issues I'd been hearing, because they bring us the statistics of the availability of water and the use of water and the waste of water. Then how was Kejriwal going to do this in the water board? He did a very clever thing, and I think all of you students should go back and read what Richard Thaler, the economist who won the Nobel Prize for Economics this year, has written. It's a fantastic, 2 books only. One, you read Nudge, it'll still be very good. Nudge gives exactly the theory of incentives and disincentives. And now this is a very important issue, that if you give the right incentives to a people, they will do the right things. It's completely different from telling people, do this or I will punish you. No, you actually have to give the right incentives, and suddenly you yourself are inclined to do the right things. So that's what Kejriwal did here. You know what he did? He put 2 conditions for the water, free water. He said, first, your water must be metered. Because how can I measure your 20,000 litres? I'm giving you 20,000 litres, so you have to meter it. And the second, he said that when you pass the 20,000 litre level, you have to pay for the first litre onwards. It's not that you are in slabs. What happened? Everybody went rushing. They forced the corrupt officials who never gave them meters, they forced them to fix the meters. Today I walk in the slums here, I walk in all the low income groups here, everybody is taking water from outside, They are not taking connections in their houses, because if you take a connection in the house, you have to pay for the water. When the moment Kejriwal said, I'm going to give you free water, what happened was that everybody put a tap in their house. That was comfortable for them, and they put a meter. The first thing that happened. Then what they did, I mean, think of your own house. I can think of what would have happened in my house. If I came anywhere near 19,999 liters, that's it. That tap would be closed by everybody else in the house. I would never be allowed to waste one drop of water, because they know that it's nothing. Even if I am the richest king in the world, everybody has this natural, inclination to save something. So that happened in Delhi. The moment the free limit was, you were coming to the edge of the free limit, people started simply saving that water. And by the way, the limit was a good limit. I checked with my own water bills to see whether he was giving one of those, just fudgy kind of stuff, oh, okay, I'm fooling you, I'll tell you I'm giving you water, but I'll give you only this much, 1 teaspoon or something. It wasn't that. It was more than what I needed to run my house. So it was substantial allowance. But you cannot waste the water. And do you know what's happened in Delhi today? No tankers. Actually, that same Delhi where I did the plan for 6 years and I thought they had no water, they actually have water. Because everybody is just closing the tap. And it's not by pictures and propaganda and nothing. It's not by everybody talking in school, close the tap, close the tap. No. The whole system was working to close the tap. So this is what Taylor means when he starts talking of behavioral economics, where the economist brings in the incentive in the right direction. And once the incentive is in the right direction, it saves everybody a lot of trouble. You sit back and you enjoy the policy, just gets done. So that's the smart thing they have done. And I think we could do something very similar in Bangalore, and we could get our garbage definitely off the streets, and we could definitely solve all our water problem, all these tankers running up and down, because we'll all be tempted then, we'll all be induced by everybody around us to close the taps to save water.
I come to the next topic here, which is religion. Before you make your friends, do you really ask them what religion? Are they a Lingayat? Are they a Dalit? Do you really ask these questions? What if politics was without religion? Have you really wondered about that aspect?
Sure, come on. Personally, I don't think religion should be a part of politics at all, anywhere close. Religion is how you identify yourself. Politics, it's a collective identity. Come on, religion is just my identity, but politics, it's a representing whole, of society. So I don't think religion should be mixed in politics. And personally, I am not a religious person at all. I'm not against religion, but I'm not a religious person per se. And I don't think politics, should have colors of religion in any sort of.
Has Aam Aadmi Party that has been fighting corruption? Okay, I have another question to do with it.
Now, the new trend, the politicians are manipulating the voters on the basis of caste and religion. Nobody is worries about the education and health or water or electricity or safety of women and children. Nobody is concerned about that one. As I know, only the Aam Aadmi Party is working on that issue in Delhi, as I'm monitoring on Facebook and Twitter. As I feel in other parties, they are only playing blame games and other things are happening. So we have to change the thoughts. And
it is not based on the report card of a politician and his performance through the 5-year term, but it is mostly based on how smart he is in terms of playing the religion card. While one party plays the Lingayat card, another plays the Dalit card. How would politics be without religion? Has Aam Aadmi Party ever considered that?
Oh, we consider that all the time. In fact, if you listen to our convener, state convener, he has the slogan which I'm very fond of. It says, no bakwas, only vikas. And that's what we follow all the time. For us, no bakwas. And all this is bakwas. But I can tell you one thing, people are swayed by emotion. People are swayed by passion, and this works in politics. That is one reason why if you want to fool the voter, you want to take his or her mind off the real issues, then you start bringing in divisions. You start saying you belong to this religion, you belong to this caste, you belong to something or the other, so that nobody turns around and asks the politician, why are my streets dirty? Why is it that I have potholes all the time? Why is there no safety on the streets? And that's what all our young people have been telling us. When we sit down and talk to them, this is an issue that is common to everybody. Now, I grew up in studying in a government college where we had this little rickety wooden bench All of us sat on that, and I can tell you, every person sitting next to me was from a different sect, a different religion, because it was a very composite society. And sometimes as young people, we used to laugh and say, theoretically, nobody could marry anyone on that list, because there's nobody of your own religion or your own caste in the group that is sitting there. All teenagers, we were on the same bench. That was how it worked, because there were so many different, permutations and combinations. But the truth is, we never ever knew. We never ever cared. It never seemed to matter at all who was the person sitting next to us. It was just some other human being, and we liked the person, you became a friend. That's it. So that's the way young people actually grow up. But it's very sad when they are indoctrinated, and some young people are indoctrinated. They are regimented into learning to hate. And I think that's extremely bad. And what we do, we never ever talk about these issues. Somebody was on the phone to me the other day, said, I want to interview you. I said, yes. And his first question was, what caste are you? I said, seriously, are you my voter? Where do you vote? Are you in my constituency? And would you vote simply because, would you think I was capable simply because you know I belong to this caste or the other? Is that how your mind works? Because as I said, I want to learn how a voter's mind works. And then he didn't know what to say. He was a little uncomfortable with it. But I know a lot of people are very interested in knowing from your name, from the way you talk. People tell me even from the way I talk, they can tell what caste I am. They can tell me what native you are, as they say in Karnataka. So there are all these funny things, these ideas which are up there. But I'm very, very sure that the young people of today, it makes no difference to them what religion somebody is from. I think the very, very serious issues that are before all of you. I am in politics because of the young people that I think are very, very important. And when I think of your future, that frightens me. It really frightens me. Where do we go from here?
Ma'am, I would like to take it to the last topic of the day, which is revolution. So before we close, one question on revolution. Is there any kind of change that you expect? I'm sure every day you battle with traffic, you battle with urban problems, especially in a city like Bengaluru. Is there any one question on that? I see the same hands rising. Do you have a question?
Not really.
Okay. So what about you?
Okay, I want a change. Okay, so I want, like you told, youth are like the pillars. So I want a lot of youth to be inspired with your work, and then like the footsteps of great politicians from the past, and like get into politics. And because this is our place after all, like this is where we are going to live. This is our mother earth, and we have to do something to, like, we are the ones to, who have to like step forward and then do something, do more changes. And then we know what we need. So I feel, this is why I strongly feel youth should come into politics. That's the sort of revolutionary I expect. Yeah.
Right. So a closing message, ma'am. Youth must enter politics. So
my closing message will be to disagree with you. And I'll tell you why I disagree with you. What I'm upset about is how timid and deferential you have been to earlier people. You don't have to look at role models from us. I'm telling you that I am learning every day from the young people in Delhi. Every day. I've been in government for 37 years, and they are doing all the new things. So when I saw what Kejriwal did for the water issue, I said, boy, these guys do everything. I'm joining the party because they're teaching me something new. So every time they do something which is different from what I've learned in my school, in my college textbooks. I'm a public finance PhD. I thought I knew all about subsidies. But when he did this and everybody called him dirty names, I said, boy, he's using a subsidy properly. This is how it should be used. Same thing. I thought, oh, I know everything about all taxes. I studied all that. And then one fine day, they fought the MCD election and they said, we're going to abolish the property tax. My first reaction was, what rubbish. The textbooks don't say that. Then I thought, you're writing your own textbooks. Good for them. So every time I keep my eyes and ears open, I find that the young people are being much smarter than us. So my point is, don't bother about role models. Jolly well follow where your head leads you, but think your own thoughts. I would always say, don't let anybody manipulate your mind. That's you should not do, because you have bright ideas, you have your own understanding of the world, and you have just shown that you are not going to be led by the nose by a politician who starts talking about religion or some other rubbish. So my point is, follow your correct instincts, check out all your ideas against what you actually learn as true knowledge from wherever you get it, true information. And that would be my only message. I am sure the world is in very safe hands if people like you are going to be there.
I hope your message is really taken seriously. That brings us to the end of the show, Yuva versus Neta. I hope we have really driven home the message that youngsters can really have a mind of their own, create a change, question politicians, question the system, and make sure that this Karnataka Assembly election 2018 will be a turnaround with respect to better systems that we can expect. With video journalists Abu Bakar as well as Gautam Shravan Kumar, this is Pratibha Raman for Asianet Newsable, and thank you for watching Yuva versus Neta in association with Dialogue India.